the land mattress, not fantastic. It's a question for you guys to answer on the forums. However, we're about to get into game 2, so let's waste no time.
Indeed.
Hello, everybody.
End of the
Welcome. North? Wait, Von Ivan.
Oh, a little too early. Little too early.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to game 2 of the Grand Finals Ultimate Team Tournament. We have on the south side of Elst Outskirts losing their first game as Axis. It is insane DevM playing as the Soviets, HelpingHans playing as the Brits.
Indeed. And then to the north, we have Vonasten as Oster and Isildur as OKW. Very standard choices in terms of faction picks from both opponents.
Yeah, and of course, rushing for that essential house for Axis on Elst Outskirts. This is exactly what we saw from Hans in the last game. Trying to get some key buildings, some key vision right at the start. You can have a look exactly what he's doing. He's going to get the Stern Pioneers in there, check what's around, and we might see him pop out to cap. We might see him hold the position for security. That being said, though, HelpingHans and DevM, I wasn't expecting to see this. They're actually playing together, playing on the same side.
Oh my god, it's a miracle.
Right in time for Christmas.
Indeed.
Well, this is interesting. This is interesting as well for me because I could understand why they would both fight together if DevM had, say, gone for tier 1 or 2, where units are a little bit slower to the field. That hasn't happened. It looks like he's going for the conscript build, so there should be a lot of territory control here.
Yeah, they definitely will be able to secure the left-hand side, but I'm curious to see how they're going to be aggressive like they were the last game as allies in terms of trying to rush the cutoff, because now it's a lot more difficult with MG42 support on the field.
Oh, look at this early game flank from these Stern Pioneers, immediately routing the Vickers there. And DevM now has to make a flank of his own in the north to stop any units from coming in. Hans is trying to get into those green cover positions, trying to take advantage of the suppression that was still onto the Volksgrenadiers. And Stern Pioneers do get pushed away. That's good. That's a good start. Tommy's in great cover. Should be able to deal with the Volksgrenadiers. And DevM just holding that front line. This could be a good opportunity, actually, for allies to go around and get that strategic cutoff. However, building is capped by the MG.
Yeah, that MG is going to prevent any type of aggressive push by the allies, so I think now they're just going to wait until they can upgrade the universal carrier with a Wasp to try to get the MG out of the building by the cutoff. And interestingly enough, DevM going tier 1 instead of tier 2 this time.
Interesting.
I'm curious if
I quite like that. I like that he's gone for the conscripts first, and now he's going into the sniper. I do like that, to be honest. I think it's a little safer.
Yeah, surprisingly, not going scout car or penal from the tier 1 like Vonasten did with the scout car, but I don't know. Sniper is a little risky on this map, and just because with the shot blockers and flanks, if there isn't good mine placement or enough units to support the sniper, it could backfire. But we'll see, though. He could use it to great effect if he can keep it alive throughout the game.
We still don't have a choice on the headquarters that was built from Isildur. And not sure where he's driving it, actually. He's taking it outside of base territory. This could be mechanized, possibly?
No, this definitely will be mechanized. I've never seen Isildur not go mechanized as OKW and 2v2. And he'll most likely rush either a Panzer II or a Stuka at this point. Probably a Panzer II if I had to guess. He's building a Rakettenwerfer for anticipation of the Bren carrier, which is now a Wasp.
Wasp upgrade is just so standard, isn't it? And so useful as well, because I mean, even through this hedgerow, you can actually burn this kind of pivotal building. I think that's maybe what Hans is going for. No, he's going to go for that mortar, which deals half health damage to the universal carrier.
Wow.
Yeah.
He's gonna have to be careful if there's any cheeky Grens nearby. A Vonasten could be the end of that upgraded universal carrier.
Interesting one right now. Universal Carrier has free reign to go over and clear the right-hand side. Vonasten going to get out of that building. This MG straight away. He wants to try and get his Grenadiers close enough for a Faust, and a Faust would be lethal. HelpingHans is making a bit of a mistake here. I don't know if he knows that this unit's creeping around. Oh.
Oh, he doesn't get the... Oh, he does get the Faust off. It's just delayed by a second.
That was delayed. Very delayed.
Yeah, that's the longest delay I've ever seen for a Faust. Oh. Hans very cheekily using the crew repair to try to repair his Bren carrier before he can get it out.
I really like that he's using it there, because surely the mortar might see that and try and get that final kill. But it's a really good move. Doesn't repair the engine critical though, so he is slowly going to make his way back.
Excellent support, I have to say, of the Allied infantry to keep the Bren carrier alive throughout this.
No, I was just about to say, I think that's brilliant. The way that they've just supported each other there to get a key unit out at the start.
The enemy is taking our territory.
Well, let's have a look at the early game stats. The Hands having a cracking start with British early in, 17 for 3. And of course that's going to be vastly helped by this this incredible unit that's just going to be burning support weapons off of the field. Hands with his 5-man Tommy squads. They're already great at kind of sticking in cover. They're very durable, and 5 of them now with the extra damage output. Picking off tons of models.
Yeah, very strong.
Just here, there has gone for the AEC as well.
Ooh, smart choice. Hans actually laid a mine in the center by the flank towards the BP, but Isildur probably saw that while he was engaging those sappers laying down the mine there, so he's probably aware that there's the mine on the flank that he'll need to sweep before pushing.
It's interesting to think whether or not players do see these mines, because there's a lot going on right now.
The ability is ready.
Where he's looking
The ability is ready for you.
could be vital later on, because you know any kind of vehicle that does trigger these mines can be a very, very serious situation. Got an MG battle here. Gonna
Would be funny if
pick off that pioneer there to deny maybe a little bit of recon for those mortars. I hope that's the reason why he shot that.
It could have been. It might have been a lucky shot, but
Trying to take one of our points.
It was most likely that, and you know, we're definitely akin to thinking a little bit too deeply into some things that do go on, but maybe, just maybe, he was trying to stop that crawling unit giving any information.
it would be funny too if Isildur didn't tell Vonasten about that mine there, and he made the push, but he hit the mine in the process without realizing his teammate noticed it. Great usage of the Wasp ability on the Bren carrier by Hans, making the capping of the DPS much more difficult for Axis in the center.
We have got that Panzer II Lux on the field. Looks like it's immediately heading west. And have we seen any mines? Have we seen mines down on this side of the map at all? I'm not seeing any.
No, I don't think we have actually. Most of the mines have been in the center of the map.
That's interesting. So I wonder if that Panzer II will go straight for the universal carrier.
Well, there is an AEC on the field defending it, so he's gonna have to be careful in trying to take out the Bren carrier with that AEC nearby.
He has just revealed the Lukes there. AEC goes in, but doesn't target the Lukes straight away. Double mortars from Vonasten. They're trying to clear out the center, doing some good work on the Tommies there, and it looks like HelpingHans is actually pretty focused on the engagement on the left-hand side, and so he should be nearly losing the AEC to a great Raketen shot. The Lux is, you know, I really like the Lukes as well when it is played kind of on the back lines, because it's just so mobile. If you've got two engagements going on, the Lukes can just kind of flicks between them and really tips the balance. And I really, really like it when it's used that way. There'll be no threat from the AEC there. They'll be able to keep their territory. Very important for Axis.
Yeah, definitely. Will help from infantry trying to push up and decrew their Ketten warfare to counter the AEC on the field.
T70 on the right side as well. And
Damned enemies trying to take a point.
I have to say, really good.
Trying to sneak close to it.
Really good aggression from allies on both fuel points. They've got a steady plus 33 fuel income. Axis finally able to decap it at the 10-minute mark.
They do put a lot of the focus on resources. I think we saw that last game.
Yes,
resource focuses that-
It's funny because I feel Isildur and Vonasten are more VP focused, and DevM and Hans are more resource focused. From what I've seen by their plays so far.
It does seem that way. I know it's at the moment though, Vonasten and Isildur, they're not even winning on the VP scale.
No, this time I think Hans and DevM have realized VPs are crucial to keeping momentum in the game.
From DevM here, it's got SU-76. We were talking about this earlier, the combination of the SU-76 and the T-70. T-70's recon mode is very, very good for spotting for this unit, because it doubles up to be a very good anti-infantry counter whenever those pushes do come in. Conscripts there charging in. I think was he? No, he wasn't able to get the AT grenade off.
Yeah, sadly was just out of range of getting a snare on the Panzer II.
Look at that micro from Hans there with the universal carrier. Only Hans could get that unit out of there so fast. Really, really good play there.
Yeah, I gotta hand it to him. Very well played.
There's lots of mines down on the right-hand side. DevM is making good use of the time that he has alone on that side of the field. Capitalize on any advantage that you've got. AC needs to be careful of the Raketten, however it has been found out. Snipers need to retreat because of the Lukes. AC is going to spring into action. Hans picks maybe a good moment here.
There is a second Raketten warfare to defend it, and this Su-76 now coming up.
Interesting, not sure smoke was needed there. Just wanted to be cautious just in case. Ketten's hanging around. Got to deal with the Stern Pioneers, which are constantly poking this area for the strategic decap. They're lucky they could do some serious damage to the sappers.
Oh, I think Hans forgot about his infantry section towards the north here. Thankfully, he gets it out before it gets wiped.
Yeah, DevM is also very, very deep in enemy territory, going for those. Going for the double munitions. SU-76 with a long-range barrage onto the VP. It is going to be spotted by Vonasten. He's not going to get away completely scot-free. Great use, by the way, of the flares. You see the flares coming off there? Yeah,
I was wondering where that was coming from. I thought it was the sniper, but apparently it's something else that's trapping flares.
It's, I think it's the Vet 1 ability from the conscripts, or the engineers with the...
that's right, the
signal
the
flares.
10 muni flare that they can put down.
Yeah, I think that's really good. As an ability for that cost, the tripwire flares, they give you a lot of recon. And again, just provided great vision for the SU-76. Now it's got the recon mode from the T-70. Isildur is going to go for the right-hand side fuel. He's trying to walk around.
On it. Oh, he's going to stay in the building.
Oh, where? Sorry. DevM there with these double snipers. This is absolutely lethal for Vonasten, because he'll lose two models near enough every engagement he walks into right from the start. Has to be very, very careful as the first drop has to retreat.
Yeah, these double snipers are giving me Love Nest flashbacks on Crossing in the Woods.
The Huns have 300 points at the moment.
Now, Isildur does have the Stuka on the field, so that might be able to wipe those snipers if he's lucky. And he is the master of artillery, as I pointed with Kurahi casting his games yesterday.
Could see where he was going with that. He's trying to get as many units as possible. Nearly wiped the Vickers in the center. Because great, very daredevil play from that Rakettenwerfer by Isildur. Luke's is coming in, trying to deal any kind of manpower damage it can to the retreating sappers. It's just nothing really. Taking the VP counts down, Isildur's managed to get to the right-hand side, avoiding a lot of the mines that are on the right.
Yeah, and right now it seems like the exact copy of last game in terms of the VP drain. Look at this, 486 VPs for Hans and DevM, and now almost less than 250 for Asin and Isildur. So they're going to have to try and hold at least one VP in the next few minutes, or else it's going to look similar to the last game in terms of trying to cap.
Seen all the doctrines have now been picked, by the way, and Isildur just making use of artillery flares for special operations, so it looks like we won't see a tier 4 from him. He might just bank his fuel straight away for that. And also got Jaeger infantry, is that? Yeah, Jaeger infantry doctrine. Interesting.
Yep. Get that 5-man Jaeger command squad and JU-87s. You can also camo all of your units too, so I've seen his grenadiers with G43s camoed in the left VP there. Gives a tiny
oh, Hans is
damage
diving
bonus.
with the AEC here, Von. This might be a big moment.
Ooh.
It does actually get it. Can
Hands
the
are
Raketten get that first shot off, which might stop the AC getting back to base
Still
unscathed?
trying to hunt it down. Can't get it though. He's gonna get the Faust off with the grenadiers. Oh god! Faust hits the ground. I just focus pop. Rakettenwerfer misses. Oh Jesus, that is so unlucky. The other Gren squad does get the Faust though, but Stug, I don't know why the Stug isn't trying to finish him off. He's got the Khan suppressed. He could have killed it. Maybe he's trying to finish it off with the Grens. Oh, I think he is. He's going for the second Faust. He can reach it in time.
Nope.
Oh,
I don't
no,
think he's going for it. Is Park going for it?
He stopped and
Oh, there it goes.
now
There's the
the
Stug.
T-70.
It's not far.
Oh, the Stug is back.
Gonna get a great shot off on the T-70. I think equally as
T-70,
important to
baby.
take down. But
Stug gets away.
T-76 not closing the shot either. Stern Pioneers from Isildur coming in to try and take the AT down. Where is the support? Snappers are not there in time. It's actually relying on the Su-76 to push these units around and stop them from
You
getting...
can actually crush them with the Su-76 if he uses it aggressively here, but I guess he's afraid of the Stug hopping back and trying to kill him. More flares being dropped on the MG by the cutoff. I think another Stuka barrage is incoming right on the MG. Ooh, just barely gets it out of there. Well, micro from Hans.
Oh, Isildur tries to take that building. Universal Carrier still here, by the way. Universal Carrier still on 3 kills, but doing very good at just stopping enemy pushes. It's a great unit in that way. The Stern Pioneers are going to have to get out of there pretty quick, otherwise he's going to lose the squad, and he does.
That's
no
painful.
reason for that to be there, really. I just think, you know, we just hit this amazing vehicle game very, very quickly. Like, a ton of vehicles just poured onto the field from allies.
Yeah.
And it might be suggestive that some kind of big push is coming.
I think Hans and DevM, like they have versus Nagano and Scotch, are pulling in on that defensive gameplay technique that they've mastered in defeating them last weekend. I'm seeing it coming through right now, and they're doing it to great effect, I have to say, especially with the double snipers.
Why is that T-34 not pursuing the engine-damaged Stug there on the left-hand side?
Oh.
Why is it going for the infantry? Maybe a missed opportunity there.
I think it's just they've switched their gear from Hoi attack, attack, attack to defend, 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 and not risking anything until they see that they have amassed enough to actually risk anything. So I think it's just them trying to play as safe as they can in the second game, and it seems to be paying off, Stormless.
Yeah, it is a much better game for me, absolutely. I think actually we see Isildur a little bit slow there. There's no action from the Raketten, which really should be either pursuing the center or the universal.
Cromwell from Hans.
Yeah.
Usually he goes for the Firefly. That's an interesting choice now.
It's interesting because in terms of AT, what do we have? Well, DevM's actually not going to go for something like an SU-85 and cover the long range and direct. He's going for
just sticking with the SU-76, which, I mean, it could work if you get it to bet 3, but in its current state, double Stoogs will absolutely wreck it undefended.
Universal carrier, incredibly lucky there, but barely any health left.
Oh, good rifle nade dodge from DevM on the right-hand side gets PPSH cons to force the retreat on the Jaeger command squad to cap the VP. Katusha coming down in the center, but it's not. I think it undershot the motor there.
A bit of a wasted shot. Hans doesn't want to push with a Tommy squad, which I think is interesting because that house would have been a great one to take just then. Do we have the AT? Yes, there is a Raketten there.
Ooh, flares popped by the Bet 2 sniper on the left, giving him range of the incoming Axis infantry. Forces the retreat on the Grens.
Is that the land mattress I hear?
Yep. Going straight on the center where the Raketten Warfare is. Does get a nice shot right on it. Could wipe it on retreat.
Oh, there are some shots.
And he does.
Yes, it does. Good use of that land mattress. Great opening shot. Snipers, by the way, getting better and better. 10 kills and 25 on these.
Oh.
That's a really good run with the snipers. They're just eating away at the support weapons that Vonasten has, pushing him right back off the map. And just as we were saying about all these vehicles coming on the field, well, actually the play from these has been very reserved and very strong. And the fact that we have stuff like the Stuka in it, it hasn't really paid for itself, I don't think, over the benefit of a medium vehicle like the Panzer IV here.
Yeah, and just look at this VP situation again. This is, I mean, I gotta commend Hans and DevM. They have really turned the tide, especially since Vonasten and Isildur are more VP dependent than they are usually. So they've probably got severe PTSD from this VP advantage going on. 180 left remaining for the Axis. Stuka goes down, tries to get the snipers, almost does, but get away. Double Stoogs pushing up on the T-34 to the left. Might actually wipe it.
Oh. Not a wipe.
Abandoned.
Oh, I don't know if I agree with this. I don't know if I agree with the decision to get in.
No. Don't do that.
But there has to be some good play here from the AEC from Hans. Will he go in and try to smoke? He does have it available, but he needs to be very quick.
Oh, but he uses the Stug instead. Good saving 25 munitions from Vonasten. Katusha hitting the mortar and Raketten in the center. Probably going to wipe the mortar. Oh, it actually survives.
An anti-tank gun has taken the field.
Yeah, I mean,
Axis finally have a VP under their control too now.
They really have to double down on that too, because they've gone for the fuel cache on the right there. They've actually got another one, so I think they're actually saying to themselves, "I don't think we're going to get much more fuel than this for a while." That's where it's going to have to come from, and they maybe will have to focus on the mid and the left for a while. They've got a lot of ground to make up. Land mattress in on the center. Got to get that squad out of there. Way too risky to leave against the land mattress.
Pile 2 just dropped as well. Going to be shredding those Volksgrenadiers. Axis actually have absolutely no anti-aircraft to counter this, so not going to be good. Land mattress on the retreating, or Katusha actually on the retreating Volks, does wipe the Raketten Warfare, but Volks thankfully get away.
What's really interesting as well is that without tier 4, because we've seen that Isildur is just saving for that command panther, I think. I mean, is he? Look at his resources right now. Why not build? Why
Yeah,
not
this
build?
float from Isildur seems a little, I mean, he's done it in the past, so it's nothing new that I've seen. However, he does need to get a vehicle on the field, so I believe he always likes to go Command Panther, so that is definitely what he's saving for right now. However, he should use that extra manpower to get maybe, I don't know, ISGs or some anti-aircraft counter, like the Black Half Track, from a medical HQ to do it, but right now, you know, just letting that float go on is not going to make the situation any easier for Axis.
Yeah, it seems a little miscalculated, to be honest.
Our lines of supply are disrupted.
I mean, granted, OKW do pop cap pretty quickly with, you know, so many units, but I mean, floating is bad, you know, at any point in the game.
Nothing to contest. Centaur on the right. What do we have here? Command Panther finally called in, so Isildur hit his 12 CPs. And Katusha raining down fire, building on the right side strategic decap. Isildur can get out of there in time for that last barrage.
Oh!
Rockets just going over the top of the house. Manages to get away.
House just gets absolutely annihilated. Again, Warper engaging the Centaur. Pretty weak, though. Centaur could probably wipe this. Another Katusha goes down on the Kettenwerfer retreating. Does get away, though.
Big question, I think, is about this Command Panther. Centaur needs to be careful it doesn't trigger its own mine, and it does!
Oh,
yes,
no.
it does! That is a really,
no.
really unfortunate way to drive.
Oh, wonderful smoke usage from the Cromwell by Hans, though. Gets the Centaur out of there, surprisingly. Although we have a Stug pushing up in the center, VP.
Oh yeah, he's got to be so careful he doesn't use this. Great use of the target breaker. Target weak point there. And fortunately, AT gun is there to defend. That's good play by Hans. I think he's got his bases covered on that side, which is really nice. He's able to save all of his vehicles thanks to that. Axis, I feel like they're on the brink of tipping. You know what I mean?
I mean, just look at this. Look at how well DevM and Hans are using their resources and bleeding the Axis. And then look at the Axis. They have resources, they're just not using them. They're not pop capped. I don't know why they're just letting the float game continue throughout this crucial moment of trying to counter what the Allies have on the field.
It is very, very strange. And Isildur there is, I think he is starting to. I wonder if this is going to be the battle grouper, because I'm guessing his healing will be coming from Vonasten. No, he's actually paying. He's actually laying down with the Stern Pioneers for medical supplies. So
it's
very inefficient.
Garages in the center as well. Yeah, the medical supplies.
Oh my god! I mean, what is happening?
Yeah, the Axis just had all their support weapons go straight into the Katusha and Land Mattress meat grinders. And, yeah, they've just got a huge blow dealt to them. All of their vetted support weapons entirely cleared. 3 Kettenwerfers and 2 boulders. I think this is good game. Unless they can win the armor engagements, there's no way.
You've only got to look back at that one small area of battlefield. You've got Raketten, dead men on the ground. Oh, that's, yep, unfortunate. There's so much manpower just removed from that land mattress. And if anyone's going to use it like that, it would be Hans, really. It's,
we'll finally have an Su-85 from DevM on the left. Gonna help take out the bunker covering the VP.
They've been waiting quite a while to take that down as well. Brumbear from Vonasten.
Ooh, incendiary rounds take out a PPSH con on the left VP at maximum range. Very well played by Vonasten.
Oh, do you see he has camouflage on as well, so he gets that additional damage, instant suppression on the guards. That unit's also in trouble if it doesn't retreat. Fortunately, catches MG on a reload. Can he finish it off? I think he's going to burst out of camouflage again? No, it doesn't count.
I gotta say, Axis, after that decimating support weapon blow, are actually, you know, pushing back the Allies. They have 2 VPs and are now holding the line in the center and the left. Although his S285 from DevM is taking a few pot shots on the Stu. Almost gets it on retreat.
I think we see action from Isildur though. Are they going to try and flank the Su-85? We've got Volks Grenadiers trying to push the snipers. Not really sure what DevM's goal is to try and hit the Volks Grenadiers here with the Su-85.
Well, you know, sometimes shots actually kill models, but it's like a 1 in 50 chance normally.
Land mattress just...
Ooh, heavy push. S285 left-hand side, gonna go down to the command panther. And Stug combo. DevM, what are you doing? He forgets to 18-nade one of the Stugs. Although Hans with the 6-pounder does kill the retreating injured Stug.
That is a really nice push. Oh, we've got the Stuka firing again. Is it going for the land mattresses?
It's actually going for the MGs covering the center. And he'll be able to recruit one of the Victors with his Grens, although the Centaur with the strafing fire ability, holy mackerel, that thing is so fun to deal with when you're trying to retreat a support weapon.
I'm actually really happy to see that because it's an ability I absolutely love.
You know what, Stormus? I think I have a theory right now. Ever since Hans and DevM had that issue with their allies games versus Nagano and Scotch, they've just been non-stop practicing allies. So that's probably why they were so weak as Axis in the first game, and now you see them as allies, and they're very comfortable. Less than 100 VPs remaining. They've got all this good late-game support. Axis are on their toes. I mean, it's showing that the practice actually has counted.
See Vonasten with the Panzerwerfer. They're really, really desperate. The VPs are constantly switching. We've just seen a triple cap from Axis. Now it's pretty much triple cap from the Allies again. Looks like a strong position for either at any time. Of course, HelpingHans and DevM have so much more to play with, and if they win this with 390 VPs, they carry a lot more VPs through into the later rounds. Mark target goes on there for the Command Panther, but is it going to chase?
One of the AT guns gets decrewed on the left-hand side. Could steal that 6-pounder and use it against the allies to great effect.
That's exactly what the plan is. Lovely hold fire here with the machine gun.
Yeah, good camo usage from Vonasten. Although he needs to remember to unhold fire when allies are pushing on the cutoff, or BPS.
Really, really want to see. Oh, has it just used the ability again? We missed the Centaur for a second time.
Oh.
Makes me very sad.
They wiped the Gren on retreat.
Oh, they're really pushing for that Faust, aren't they?
Yep.
Oh, we only needed one more as well. What have we got? The Katusha here?
Oh, Stuka goes down, wipes the Katusha, and also a sniper on retreat. Wonderful arty play from Isildur, although Grenadier dies in return in the center by the other Katusha. And Werfer goes down on the Su-76.
Wow, there's a lot just happened in that short space of time. Vonasten for another Panzerwerfer.
Oh, he might lose his Sturms in the north. Does get the retreat off. Su-76 goes down to the Command Panther to the left-hand side of the map. Gets away with it too. Umbar coming up to push away the guards.
It's going to be one of those
we now
tense
have
games again, I'm sure. Absolutely
yeah. Sure. I can just feel the tension between all the players. Surprisingly, like, Allies have done so well this game, but Axis are just somehow still getting into countering what they have.
Well, I think they've just had what we saw from Allies maybe 10 minutes ago. It's just this sudden boom of vehicles on the field. A lot of stuff to push with. And they can just get the infantry giving the sight. If they can just get some of those territories back, I think they're actually still in a good position. But I'd be very surprised to see Hans and DevM struggling with this. Firefly's just come on the field. They've got to stop this decap in the center.
Yeah.
Just managed to get in there at the last minute.
We got light artillery dropping down on the retreat path of the Hans and Bren. Doesn't get any kills though.
Ooh, is the AEC going in? Great use of that. What a quick reaction there. Allowing the Su-85 to get that extra bit of sight it needed to get that great last hit. Good team play.
Well
And
played by
there
Hans.
definitely is that synergy today. Definitely a lot more of it.
Ooh, 6-pounder goes down low, and so does the Vickers on the cutoff.
I'm impressed, I have to say. Like, both teams are playing very well at this point. Land Mattress in on the center. And instead of retreating, it's imperative that Isildur does stay on that central VP. He's got to find some way of managing it. Volksman it is. Going to try and push ahead. He gets the decap, but I think that's good enough. Will the Land Mattress get it on the retreat?
Ooh.
It is always a danger.
Ooh, and it's down. Rip Volks.
Oh no. You've got to feel, really, because...
Well, what's insane is after all of that amazing allied gameplay, Stormers, look at this. They're trapped in a bubble in the center. Like, the Axis, even though they haven't capped the right VP, all of their support and army comp is right in the center of the map here. And somehow the Axis are still holding the line on the left.
The funny thing is that, you know, now that the Axis players have started building units, they're suddenly,
Yeah, now
they're suddenly
now that
back in the
they've
game.
used their resources, we see that they're doing well. It's amazing how, you know, using your resources can pay off in such a way.
Who would have thought that RTS benefited from such a mechanic? Learn new things
I know,
every
right?
day. Great
Ooh, good
infiltration aids
infiltration
there.
aids.
And once again, I think we see more Panzerwerfer. That's bound to be
Oh,
a bit of a weird shot. Was he going for the Universal Carrier? I'm not sure. Axis do get double fuel, though, and there's no contest on the right. In fact, that squad could even go and take a VP and put a bit more pressure. I'm surprised to see the allies are getting caught up like this. Now we're seeing the Sturmovik IL-2 come in. We're going to target the Raketten.
yeah,
Probably
the
take that down.
Axis still have no AA to counter this incoming IL-2 strike. It should really, Isildur really needs to build a flag half for this. But I guess they're just happy with what they have currently in terms of army count.
There is so
And I
much
mean-
happening right now. I mean, there's a lot to focus on. There's a lot of noise as well. You have to take that into account when you're playing.
Yeah,
You've got
exactly.
the planes, you've got the land mattresses, you've got to listen to a lot of things. Special operations
Look at
flares.
this, Starbucks. Those decrewed support weapons are still there in the center of the map by the command panther. We've got we've got 3 free Rakettenwerfers and 2 boaters just chilling without any recruits, interestingly enough. I think they're just focusing on massing armor and arty. So they're keeping their PopCap city.
Great camouflage. MG on the right-hand side forces 2 squads of conscripts away. What have we got now? More artillery coming in. Panzerwerfers are actually clearing the area really well. Nevertheless, though, allies do have 2 VPs. All they've got to do is bunker down and hold these 2 for a victory and put pressure on Vonasten and Isildur to recover this. You see there that DevM is trying to destroy the Raketten and the support weapons with the PTRS. Good idea.
Well, it's funny they're trying to destroy the support weapons, but the Axis don't just want to recruit them at all. They're just leaving them there.
And we hear the 50 VPs remaining support from the Brumbar. Try and push off all infantry
Brumbar.
from the center.
Getting good shots on the guards in the center. Another Stupa goes down. Oh, almost wipes the guards. Oh, Panzerwerfer combo though.
How did
Holy,
it
that is
survive
the
that?
luckiest guard spot I have ever seen of the Soviet army.
Very lucky to survive. Command Panther on the right-hand side. Are they going to push? SU-85 did take a Faust from the Volks Grenadiers in the center. Looks like
here
Axis
comes
are going to make
push.
that push.
Pretend we're for keeping the Command Panther back though, and we now
We even have the artillery. We even have
wait,
the
light artillery going down. Why didn't he save for a Stuka instead? What?
Because he's going to take the SU-85 if he gets another barrage in the right place.
SU-85 lives. Should have got a Stuka. You can't counter Arbor with light artillery rounds. You gotta get Stukas.
They are wiping squads. It's quite crazy, really. Actually, the Panzerwerfers are. I think they're paying off for themselves. It's 3 of them on the field.
I gotta say though, Isildur, look at all that unvetted infantry he's had to rebuild throughout the game with all those Volks wipes that have occurred. I mean, I feel like Vonasten is carrying this game to a certain extent, just with the Command Panther to support. Because look at this, 3 Panzerwerfers, a Stug, a Brumbar, a couple infantry squads, 2 MGs with camo, and they stole on a 6-pounder.
I just think because of the indirect fire, it just gets to the situation where infantry is just being lost so quickly. It's a manpower battle. It's who's got the best vehicle push remaining.
Oh god, Isildur, don't run into the land mattress. No. Almost loses his bed by bulk to that.
They're desperate. They've got now or never. Special operations flares have been called down, so they have a little bit of an idea of what's hanging around. Good use of the Stuka off the back of that flare. Now you see the Stern Pioneers, Volks Grenadiers burst through the center. They have to get this decap right now.
Yeah,
they have to get this with 20 VPs. They are not pushing the field anywhere else. It all comes down to this, really. They're just completely forced off the map. Another Panzerwerfer firing. I think it's going to be on the Raketten.
Yeah, Stold Rakettenwerfer actually getting good shots on the Brumbar. Command Panther, though, coming in with the flank. Might get the AAC. Forces to pull back, though.
Oh, they just haven't been successful. I don't know if they're going to have time.
They need to cap this VP. If they don't cap this VP within the next 20 seconds, it's going to be a loss. So I think now they're going to go all in. They have no choice.
The MG's in a great position if it can stay set up there. Universal Carrier, as it has been all day, just taking shots left, right, and center. Raketten is still in there.
The decap of the freaking. Oh my god, that Rakettenwerfer just entirely prevented the decap. They have to cap it now. If Hans... Okay, there we go. DevM is sending the con in. If you can keep that con in there for 2 seconds, it's game over. Infiltration nades go down in the center, but it's not enough. And I believe the Allies have won the game here.
What a shame, though, because that was a great Stuka strike.
Yeah.
That could have worked if they'd have had more to push with. Nevertheless...
Good game, well played to...
HelpingHans and DevM.
DevM and Han.
That could have gone either way.
I feel like they left a bit too much on the left-hand side that they could have brought up, like the 6-pounder and the Vet 3MG to support. I know they were trying to defend the VP from the decap, but I mean, Hans and DevM just had everything completely centered on the middle VP, and just Axis didn't have enough to counteract it. The resource float also backfired heavily for them, so that was a part of their downfall, I feel.
Yeah, that was a really weird thing to see. I mean, you see it sometimes, but there was a point where he had, I think it was like 390 fuel and 1,000 manpower, and you just think, you know, like even
just save it for a Command Panther. But he had PopCap for other things too, you know. Nobody's
reinforcing that much. I don't even think, you know, you can reinforce maybe more than 300 or 400 manpower on a retreat. Very rare to see, but whew, wow, 2 games and it's already 2 hours later than start time. This is looking like we might get the full 5 hours of the best of 5 here.
Yeah, it's already 1-1, and we still have at least 2 more games to go. So interesting to see how the series turns out. But so far, definitely aiming towards the best of 5.
So just don't care. Wanted to see the resource float on the chart. I will just show that to you. So Isildur, you can see he did it at 2 occasions, 15 minutes into the game and 30 minutes into the game, and you have to wonder what the game would have looked like maybe with a few more units on the field to play with. It wasn't that they were playing badly, you know, like they could have played those units to good effect. But there we go. We'll have to wait for the next game. I'll just flick over to the battle planner. So Vonasten and Isildur, first game win, 247 VPs. Game 2, 365 VPs for HelpingHans and DevM. And Von, at the start of this, you were saying, you know, whoever plays Axis, you know, would win. How you feeling about that right now?
And look at this. Both allies, I mean, both allied games have been wins for Vonasten and Hans in their respective teams. Shockingly, not a single Axis win so far, which is counter